Hello, welcome to the M2 podcast. I'm your host, Michael Anthony. My co-host, Kyle Heath. How's it going, brother? This is the show where we cover esports and personalities, gaming industry-related news, new and upcoming games, and technology and innovation. What we like to do at every start of the episode is do a recap. What have you been up to, Kyle? What's new? What have you been gaming with? Are you still in the retro grind?
No, dude. You know I am. You know, I did do some gaming this week. A lot of retro stuff. I think the big thing for me is like over the weekend I went like Goodwill slash flea market kind of hopping just to see what was in my local area.
Nice.
I was able to find a couple of things I ended up picking up like games. I didn't really find like consoles or anything, but I did pick up some PS2 games, and I also ordered a broken PS2 that I'm gonna attempt to fix. I don't know. I don't know. I'm fingers crossed I'll be able to figure it out. But yeah, it seems like a decent enough system. At least like it's one of those like fat PS2s. That's like we're talking like late '90s, early 2000s. So it seems to be in pretty good cosmetic condition though. So it's just a matter of opening up and see
Nice.
what's wrong. But it's the seller said it at least gets power, so don't have to worry about anything too drastic, hopefully. But yeah, so I got that coming.
How much were they selling it for?
I got it for it was only like $20, and then I think shipping was like another 15-20. So
That's not bad.
yeah, it wasn't too bad. But yeah, pretty much everything else I'm seeing is like around that price range, especially because like broken PlayStation. So um, but yeah, so I'll be looking in to try to see. That'll be like my weekend project, I think. This coming weekend, so looking forward to that. Um, but in the meantime, I've kind of just been exploring like games and stuff like that that I've already downloaded and whatnot on my emulator. I played some Silent Hill over the weekend, Silent Hill 1, the original one. I played the game before, but I was kind of just it had been so long I kind of forgot like aspects about it. So I was like, you know what, like it's like one of my favorite PlayStation games, so I just hopped on and played that for a little bit. And yeah, that was fun. Just did a bunch of other kind of a bunch of other games as well, kind of hopping just between NES and SNES and whatnot. So yeah, that was most of my week. I wanted to do, I wanted to play other stuff. Like I wanted to check out Redfall, and I know we'll get to that a little bit
Yeah.
later. Very unfortunate reviews right now. Not going to go into it just yet, but that was like a recent game. It's like, oh, looks like fun, but um, I wanted to check that out. I think also I never did get Jedi Survivor, but it seems like a good game to wait on as well because it doesn't seem
hmm
like, at least for a PC. I was gonna play it on PC. PC port apparently isn't the best right now, so that is gonna be a wait and see kind of game. But yeah, so it's mainly just been I think like retro stuff for me for the most part. That's about it. Mike, you play anything old recently? Yeah, what are you playing?
Old? Oh, I mean, well, actually, no, not really. I mean, if you want to count, I guess Rocket League's kind of old. I was playing that a couple of times this past week. Um, really just been paying attention to like sports, man. I've been watching a lot of NHL. Big excited about the Canes. Watched the Bruins fumble. I watched the Devils clear it out, which was pretty cool. But in terms of gaming, I mean, man, I haven't been playing very many old games. I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077 though.
Hey,
Yeah, I've been that's like on my list to finish, and it is a freaking chore, dude. Because like when I first started the game, I was on a completionist route where I just started doing all the challenges and the main storyline. But every time I got to a part of the storyline where it was like, okay, there's a bit of a null period, it's like a break period, right? I would just go do all the side jobs. So I
mm.
had my character like all beefed up. So when I went to go do the main story, I was just cruising through, no issues.
Yeah.
And I even went with like a stealth route, treating it as if it was like Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. So that was a bunch of fun. But now I'm like, I gotta finish the game before the DLC comes out. So I've gotten to the part where it's kind of hard to really remember because it's like I have 19 hours in this game so far, and I feel like I'm nowhere close to being finished. It's like I still have Johnny Silverhands. I just met I can't remember her name. She's from the Wasteland area. Not Borderlands, but like
Yeah.
what? Like Welcome to the Wasteland, isn't that? I think that's something that Junkrat says in Overwatch. all these games blend together after a while, man. um, but it's like she helps you essentially try to capture one of these corpo guys to figure out what the Johnny Silverhand's like chip is actually doing to you and what's happening and that kind of
Yeah.
thing. So like the plot's thickening more and more. While at the same time, I have like four other main side stories that I got to finish. I'm like, dude, holy crap! So it's like I've been trying to just sit down 2 hours at a time and just like progress instead of doing the side jobs. But
Mm,
that's really all I've been doing in terms of gaming. Haven't touched any real shooters, any consoles really. Um, that's yeah. Another thing of it is like only Cyberpunk and NHL hockey is
I
what
got
I've been
you.
up to.
Yeah. I mean, it's playoff season for NHL and NBA, so
Yeah,
it's a lot of
that's true.
big games going on.
Hmm.
But yeah, without getting too much into sports, I saw the Bruins. Like I heard about the Bruins like completely fumbling home, like Game 7 home advantage. They had
Oh
it,
my
and then
gosh, man.
they just lost it,
And then
dude. To
they
the paint.
didn't,
To
dude.
what was it? The Panthers, bro. Like,
Oh yeah, the Florida Panthers, an
it's like
expansion
no
team,
one was
brother.
not expand. Like no one was expecting that. So I mean, they had an insane record all season. I was like,
They were favorites to win the cup.
yeah. I
They
mean,
had the most amount of wins in a single season, and they got first rounded, basically reverse swept. They were up 3-1, lost 2 games in a row, went 3-3. Yeah, 2 games in a row. They lost game 6. They went home ice, were down 0-2, came back 3-2. Last minute, the Panthers score to go 3-3. It goes to overtime, and then they lost in overtime. I was stunned that that happened. I was like, you're gonna let that happen at TD Garden, bro?
someone's getting traded, fined, fired.
Oh, I mean, Bergeron, which is like their best player, and he's an absolute legend. I wouldn't be surprised if he's done. I could see him just
No.
retiring, just be like, I'm out.
Sheesh. Sheesh.
It's gonna be a weird off season for the NHL. I'm hoping the Canes pull off the win against the Devils. I'm pretty nervous. We're really light right now. We don't have a lot of depth. We've lost a lot of injuries over the course of the last 5 months alone. We've lost like 3 of our best players. So we'll see how this pans out and how it plays out. But I'm not. I'm just happy they
Sheesh.
make it to the playoffs, dude. 5 years in a row, and they won their division 3 times in a row. I'm like, just keep the momentum, keep making the playoffs because it's so freaking hard to make it to the playoffs in hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Crazy.
But how about we stop talking about real sports and start talking more about what's going on in the gaming sphere, man?
True. Thought you were about to say esports. I was gonna be like, well, not quite, but
Well, I mean, we are repping for people that have the video right now. This is unplanned, by the way.
yeah, we
I'm
did
wearing a
not coordinate
FaZe
this.
Halo Black edition. I think I bought this in Charlotte. And then you got the white version, FaZe Halo.
Oh, face clan. Yep.
Yeah, I like the FaZe roster, except for like maybe one person. But overall, I like the FaZe roster. And no, I bought this when Snipe Down was on the team.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I did.
I see.
That dude is the man.
True, true. Well, we do have some news to get to after all.
Yes,
We're
sir.
gonna
Let's
start
get
off.
to it.
We're starting off with a positive one, all right? It's
Okay.
positive, right? It's positivity. May get a little crazy towards the end, but you know what? We're starting off with Microsoft's new Xbox Game Pass referral program, and it's gonna let people invite PC friends to try Game Pass. Got this article from The Verge. Tom Warren, the guy you already know. Up to 5 friends can get a 14-day free trial of PC Game Pass. Microsoft's launching a new Game Pass friend referral program that lets you invite friends to try out PC Game Pass. The friend referral offer is available for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass members to invite up to 5 friends for free 14-day trials of PC Game Pass. The friend referral invitations are available on the Game Pass home screen and are only available to be sent to friends who are new to Game Pass. Microsoft is launching this offer just as Redfall debuts on Xbox and PC today, at the time of writing this, which was May 2nd. Allowing Xbox Game Pass members to get friends playing the co-op vampire shooter. I think that's ultimately, I feel like that was a huge motivator as to why they did this, especially with Redfall coming out. They're like, oh, we want people to come play Redfall. Um,
100%. Yeah, it's the next Xbox exclusive.
yeah. Ugh, moment of silence.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
So, if a friend that's new to Game Pass does accept this offer, that didn't means they cannot use another introductory offer later, like the promo cards that came with accessories. Microsoft also used to offer $1 trial offers for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass, but it discontinued these in March, saying it was, quote, evaluating different marketing promotions for new members. It looks like this friend referral program is a replacement for those $1 trials. PC specific offer also comes less than a month after Microsoft expanded PC Game Pass to 40 new countries. Microsoft has been focusing on growing PC Game Pass recently after growth on the console side of the service slowed down last year. We're seeing incredible growth on PC. On console, I've seen growth slow down mainly because at some point you've reached everybody on the console that wants to subscribe, said Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spence. Phil Spence? Where's the Spence? Where's the R? They just wrote Phil Spence. Hey, you know my guy Phil
This is our
Spence.
boy.
You know what I'm saying?
Tom definitely knows the guy's full name, so that's
Yeah.
the typo for sure.
Boy Phil Spence. In an interview in October.
My boy Spitz.
Microsoft also said in October that PC Game Pass subscribers had increased by 159% year over year.
Sheesh.
We've said it, you know?
But when it's at 0, I mean,
You know,
you know,
yeah, it's true.
it was pretty low, so it only makes sense that it would go up.
Yeah. So I will. All right. So there's a piece of this I really want to get into, but I'm saving it for our last article, so I won't get into that right now.
Okay.
All I will say is, I mean, look, this is positive news for Game Pass, right?
For sure.
Xbox constantly pushing it, allowing you can have up to 5 brand new people who've never tried the platform before join up for free for 2 weeks. I mean, it's a cool opportunity. It's similar to, I think, the 14-day free trials for Xbox Live Gold way back in the day. You'd get that,
that's what I
but
was gonna
seemingly
bring up.
every new console and everything like that, you just have like a card. So that's it's very much, I think, in that same vein. And dude, the library's massive. You give people 2 weeks to play those games, they'll have enough to do for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things that I'm sure there's a lot of people too that like they have Game Pass, but they like never really use it unless a huge release comes out. But I mean, hey, if you're brand new to it, there's a lot to play and a lot to check out. And you know, Bethesda library's on there. Activision library, I mean, it almost was on there. All right, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be on there, not gonna be on there, but they're going through a little rough spot right now. They're trying to figure it out. So that could
Yeah.
be huge though if if they end up getting some semblance of that library. But I mean, I don't know. What do you think, Mike? Is this another W for Game Pass? Another W for Microsoft?
I don't see it. Let me put it this way. I don't think it's an L, if that makes sense. I don't think it's a W. I definitely don't think it's an
Okay.
L.
Okay.
It's one of those things that's like they've always. This is very on brand. Them giving out trials, like you have Discord Nitro now,
I do.
and they send promos all the time for Game Pass, like all the time.
Very true.
And I feel like Microsoft Xbox has always been on board with just like throwing out these trial versions, these demo versions, like sign up, it's only $1 for your first month, that kind of thing. And then now they're just like, hey, refer your friends, they'll get 2 weeks free, no big deal. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
It's like
True.
they've always done that. They've always done like the 3-month free trial that comes with certain games back in the Xbox 360 era. It's like it's very on brand when it comes to Microsoft. I think it's very interesting that they're basically encouraging the PC side of things because they keep going more and more with cloud gaming and more with the PC market because like Phil Spencer or Phil Spence, shout out Tom Warren, is out here saying, or the editors at The Verge, if there are any. Uh, so what they're basically saying is that the Game Pass is going towards PC and Xbox, the console itself is pretty much maxed out. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Very
makes
true.
sense. Yeah, I don't think it's a W. I don't think it's an L. I just think it's like it's very on brand about what Microsoft and Xbox has been doing for the better part of like forever. You know, giving
I
out
see it.
trials, trying to get you on Xbox Live as long as possible, and like sign you up on that subscription model, baby. I
I
have
see.
had mine for like 18 years, I think,
There we
forever.
go. Dude,
So
this is the thing. Is there such I feel like something like this could be kind of binary, right? Like it's either a win or a loss. I'm gonna say it's a win. I do get your point though. It's not like, this isn't mind blowing. This isn't like blowing blowing the subscription service out of the water or anything. But yeah, it's definitely a W in my eyes. And I mean, 5 2-week trials that you can hand out. It's pretty significant. So, most of our, I know most people in my friend circle already have it. There's not really like anyone I can think of that'd be like, oh, here,
Exactly.
like, I feel like most people that have it, it's already like widespread to the point of like, it's going to be hard for someone to find like 2 people to give this out to. I feel like, let alone 5. So, um, hey, if you want to get like a family member into gaming, they've never
That's
had
a good
it.
point.
They have like a
Yeah.
PC or a phone. Like, here you go. Like, here's a 2-week code. You can give it a shot. So yeah, it's definitely a thing. So I think it certainly could provide an opportunity to get people that aren't traditional gamers into gaming. That's at least the very optimistic way I'm looking at it. But we'll see how that pans out. I'd love to see data on this at some point if Microsoft is willing to disclose at any point as to how many of these
I
trials
think
were
they will.
activated. So
Yeah, they've been pretty transparent, I think.
yeah,
Well, at
agreed.
least when it comes to their metrics, when it benefits them, you know?
That's not really good to
It
show.
benefits them to do so. I feel like this is gonna be beneficial to be like, they already mentioned that, the Xbox Game Pass subscription on for PC has increased 159% year over year. It's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
the next stat's gonna be like, "Since we did the referral program, it's increased, like, X amount percent," you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that'll
That's
probably be
definitely the
a
next headline.
yeah, that'll be a higher stat too than just regular year over year growth, I think. It'll be more
Oh, it
significant
will
to
be.
show like, oh, when we added this, it went up this much, but you don't have to worry about like
And
when
yeah,
we
year
didn't
over
have
year,
it. Like
yeah, don't worry about it, yeah.
so
New signups is gonna be the next metric.
yeah, I could see it now. And probably next year's I was gonna say next year's E3, but it's next year's Summer Games Fest, right? Just gonna say it. It's unfortunate. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
want to get sad, but speaking of showcases, we can go on to
Oh,
the
yeah.
next one.
What a segue, man.
Oh,
You're pretty good at this.
I
Do
said,
you do this for a living? Because you should.
I wish, Mike. One day.
That's a fact. So, what we're alluding to is Polygon's article from Michael McWhorter. Hopefully, I pronounced that correctly. It is Xbox Game Pass Showcase and Starfield Direct dated for June 11th, which we kind of always knew.
Yeah.
The showcases pretty much come around that June landmark, June, July landmark in the summer. So it's pretty good to see. So Microsoft will hold its annual Xbox Games Showcase on Sunday, June 11th, where the publishers promise new surprises and first looks from Xbox Game Studios and its third-party partners. That showcase will be followed by Bethesda Starfield Direct livestream, which is said to offer new gameplay, developer interviews, and behind-the-scenes insider information on Starfield. The Xbox Game Showcase will kick off at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time, and will stream on Xbox's YouTube, Twitch, Facebook channels, and Microsoft said in a post on Xbox Wire. I'm pretty surprised that they're still using Facebook. I heard that Facebook kind of fell off in terms of gaming, you know?
Yeah, it's I feel like it's not as significant as it once was. But yeah. I mean, I don't know, look. I don't use Facebook that much. There's still a huge market that does, I'm sure, but I don't know.
Oh,
I've been out the Facebook
the
game now for a while.
apparently the Latin American community is wildly
I believe that.
on super high percentage of non-native English speaking
Yeah.
nations, are very, very, like, Facebook is very popular for them.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it makes sense. Look, a lot of Facebook videos still get, millions of more views than even YouTube videos. So there's an audience for sure.
oh, definitely, man. So, let's continue on with the article. It says, "This year's Xbox Games Showcase will focus on games for Xbox, PC, and Game Pass," and Microsoft said, but the company did not say which games viewers can expect outside of Starfield. Xbox Game Studios announced slate includes games like Turn 10 Studios, which is the new Forza game, the Initiative's new Perfect Dark, which I'm pretty excited about that. I'm always big into Perfect Dark, and Ninja Theory's Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, Playground Games' new Fable, which I don't think we've had a Fable game in forever. It feels like, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have a new Fable game in development that we know about, but there hasn't
Yeah.
been much info since the announcement. So yeah, maybe this
Hopefully
year.
we get something in. Yeah,
Yeah,
either there or at Summer Games Fest.
yeah.
So Rare's Everwild and Obsidian Entertainment's Avowed and the Outer Worlds 2. And the Outer World, do you ever play the Outer Worlds?
Outer Worlds, yeah,
Very,
yeah. I did.
very good game.
It's very funny. I played like probably 80% of it and just didn't finish it. So that's probably something I should go finish.
You gotta go back. That's why I have a list of games I gotta finish.
Yeah.
So there were a couple other things going on about Bethesda's Game Studios has announced a new Elder Scrolls game in its development with Wolfenstein maker Machine Games working on an Indiana Jones game with overall just Starfield is slated for release on September 6th. So Xbox Game Showcase kicks off this year. Plenty of digital releases and events planned since E3 is basically canceled. And that's, that's basically what we have to
Man,
look forward to.
dude, I forgot about the Indiana Jones game. It's like these like small announcements and previews. It's like it happens, and I'm like, oh, that's sick. But then like all this time goes by, and you just forget. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one I
That
certainly forgot.
that's basically what I've been trying to do the events page in our Discord
Yeah, shout
about
out.
how like yeah, like different events going on at different periods of time. Like you and I forgot about DreamHack, and then we both get those like little ping notifications in
Yeah,
Discord. It's like, oh yeah, DreamHack Melbourne's going on. It's a 12-hour difference for us on the East Coast.
yeah,
So it's like we would have never even thought about that.
yeah. Um, look, Xbox show. Look, I love showcases, right? Said it before.
Hmm.
Last year's showcases, it was kind of, we were at a off season year, is the way I'll put it. Um, I mean, the only thing that's not off season though is this dog, man. He's going hard right now. I just
You
see
see him?
it's so funny because like every time your dog goes nuts, you just see a hovering animal just like and he's just like flying, dude. It's funny. But anyways, um, I think last year's showcases there was much more to be desired, at least for me. But I'm hoping that this year is the start of all right. We're getting into this next little iteration, and we're gonna see some good reveals. I'm excited for Xbox too, because like yeah, I mean Indiana Jones game, Outer Worlds 2, new Fable. I mean, there's a new Obsidian game. I mean, I forgot about like Rare's Everwild. I mean, dude, there's a lot. So I'm really hoping we hear more. And we're getting the Starfield showcase to follow it too, and very excited for Starfield. But as we will get into in the last article, Bethesda's last published release has not been the best, so it really does not tee up Starfield
Yeah.
well, in my opinion. But
No, it definitely.
but again, we will get that at the last article. RTX voice is doing wonders for keeping that dog bark off the mic too. It's great.
Yeah, I apologize for everybody that's listening and you can hear the dog chirping in the background. I walked him, side note, and then we'll get
Yeah,
back to these articles. I've walked him about an hour and a half today.
dude, he's still going.
He's a lunatic.
He
Let
still
me
has
go
so
feed him
much.
some peanut butter
Still so
and
much
we'll come
energy,
back
dude.
into the next article. Does that sound
Oh,
like a plan?
we will do. I can go ahead and even start the next article, and I can catch up to speed whenever you get back. I'll
Okay.
let the audience know.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it then.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next article we have is a very interesting one, I must say. Um, it's discussing Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So this is an article that we pulled from Kotaku. And it is well, I don't know. Let me just get into it. So the entirety. So listen to this sentence. The entirety of the Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom it recently leaked online. This is over a week and a half ahead of the game's May 12th release. So I will say that again. You can find the entirety of the Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom game floating around on the internet. It's just out there. So some players are making their way through it and streaming their journey for all to see, while hackers comb through the game's files for some more clues. As a result, we've already learned a great deal about Nintendo's most anticipated Switch game of the year. Look, there's a spoiler warning in this article. It says we'll be steering clear of story info below, but obviously anyone who wants to get into Tears of the Kingdom with limited knowledge on what to expect should probably turn around. So, this is a spoiler alert for all of you listening. That I will go into this a little bit. There's a lot of info. I'm not gonna like list off everything, but I'll just kind of give the cliff notes here. So, one big takeaway so far is that Tears of the Kingdom is even bigger than any of the trailers or previews have indicated so far. While the main surface map is borrowed from Breath of the Wild, the floating islands and a sprawling underground region effectively expand the map across 2 additional vertical layers. So yeah, this is this is a pretty big game. There are also some welcome additions to the previous game's formula, as well as a couple of disappointments. Here's what players have discovered so far. All right, as Mike speeds back in, all those listening.
All right, I am back.
Okay. So all you need to know, Mike, I've only read the first 2 paragraphs, but all you need to know is that the entirety, and I'll say it again because I was iterating this a couple times, the entirety of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom recently leaked online.
What?
The entire game, the whole thing, Mike. It's out there.
Why?
It's just out there.
Dude,
Uh,
we've talked about Nintendo so many times about how they're just like they're ruthless when it comes to people leaking their stuff, like starting tournaments on their IPs and like shutting that down real quick. They're also like big with copyright strikes on YouTube and all these other content creators that do content like around Nintendo games and IPs, and it's like, why are you leaking the entirety of the game
yeah.
before its release?
The whole thing, you can play it. I know someone who got a copy of the game and he was playing it. I was like, you savage. Like I just it's crazy. Yeah, dude.
That's crazy. I
Play
mean, to be fair, that used to happen back in the day all the time.
Yeah.
It was like the store employees would just kind of steal it.
Yeah, you get like an early copy and just eat.
Yeah, they would just take it from the store and then buy it on day one.
Yeah. It's crazy too. I think it's definitely something you don't I can't remember the last time we heard about an entire game leaking this early. At least like, recent memory for me.
At this high,
Yeah.
like this AAA.
Yeah, this is a AAA release. This is a flagship title on the Nintendo system too. Like this isn't like a third party AAA.
Dude, it's the most anticipated game of the year, if not the last 2 years.
It's wild.
It's leaking the whole game, man. I'm already
sinister,
trying
dude.
not to watch any trailers whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like I'm that level of like, don't spoil it.
Yeah. Well, we
messed up.
won't have to get too far into it, but there is a spoiler
The next
warning.
paragraph is spoiler warning, and you're like, I read the first 2 paragraphs.
Look, there is a spoiler warning. It says obviously we steer clear of story info, but anyone who wants to go into Tears of the Kingdom with limited knowledge should probably turn around and not read it.
Well, I mean, I gotta know some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not gonna get too deep. There's a lot of like cliff notes here, and I'm not gonna read all the details, obviously. But one thing that does sound interesting though is that probably the biggest takeaway, or one of the big takeaways, is that Tears of the Kingdom is even bigger than any of the trailers or previews indicated. While the main surface map is borrowed from Breath of the Wild, the floating islands and a sprawling underground region effectively expand the map across 2 additional vertical layers. So I mean, this is a big game. Like there's a lot of layers here. It says there are also some welcome additions to the previous game's formula, as well as a couple of disappointments. I won't get into any of that yet, but yeah. So at the start of the game, Link has full strength, which I think is oftentimes, when you play any Zelda game, it's kind of like you're starting with like nothing, and then you're kind of working up. But yeah, he starts with full strength, which is an odd choice, I feel like. But yeah, dungeons are confirmed. Well, it says sorta, but yeah. There are still shrines. The underworld map is massive. Companions can help in boss fights. You can't rush to the end. There's some wild outfits. Dragons are back. Gleeox? I don't know how to say that. I didn't play the first game.
Yeah, Gleeox.
Gleeox come in all different kinds. The music is low-key amazing. That was the quote of the...
Well, it should be. It's Nintendo, dude.
Probably still underwater exploration. Your horses carry over.
That's cool.
It says Breath of the Wild save doesn't seem to carry much over to Tears of the Kingdom, but players are reporting that your staple of horses will remain intact. So yeah,
that's pretty cool.
You can't pet dogs. I hate to say it, Mike. Can't do it.
Jesus, so stupid.
Some devs, even at big studios, have latched onto the "Can you pet the dog" meme in gaming. But not Nintendo. 6 years later, Tears of the Kingdom adds and iterates on a lot of previous open world games, showing the pets some love isn't one of them. Or maybe Link just hates dogs, but won't go that far.
Hey, who knows?
But yeah.
That's interesting. It sounds like it's a true successor, a true part 1, part 2 series in the new gen Zelda games,
Yeah.
and, like, Link's overall story. I heard a bunch of rumors about, like, people making predictions, and, they probably made predictions based on some leaks,
Yeah.
and they were basically predicting certain things that Link would start with, and one of them was actually, like, he should be more than full strength to the point where it's like it continues on the story. I'm like, "Oh, well, this article by Kotaku basically confirms that."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense if you're making a direct sequel, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how the game plays around that. Um, yeah, dude, I just thought it was wild. I I think like my buddy showed me a clip, and it looked like Breath of the Wild, and I was like, "Oh, dude, like, oh, you're playing Breath of the Wild, like, prepare, dude, that's awesome. Like, I'm happy for you." He's like, that's Tears of the Kingdom. I was like, "What? Like, come again?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude, I got an early copy." I'm like, well, it's already out there, dude. I guess, you know, whatever. I don't condone it, but ain't gonna ostracize someone for it, I guess.
Yeah, it's a shame, but at the same time, it's like I don't feel like we really gave any major spoilers away except for the fact that like about the horses and about the strength
Yeah,
of Link at the start of the game. But I mean, you're gonna find that out in the first 5 seconds of the game
yeah,
anyway.
yeah, right.
So yeah, it's not that big of a spoiler, but it's something to know. I think it's totally messed up that somebody leaked the entire game, though.
Yeah,
I'd be
dude, it's
pretty
wild out here,
upset.
man.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. Yeah, not too much more to report. But do we have to talk about AI again, Mike? The thing.
I'm excited. I was actually using
Okay. Okay.
ChatGPT earlier today.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to like just test and guess like different things, asking different stuff to just get a feel for it. Because AI is the future and it's gonna take all our jobs. But as long as you understand it, should be interesting to know, I guess. Maybe you could use it. Well, that was the segue, right? So the segue is into Game Rant's article. Do we have a? Oh yeah, Gabrielle Macondo Purza. I don't know. No idea.
No idea.
No idea. By Game Rant. So it's Blizzard wants to use AI generated artwork to flesh out its game's world. Seems pretty good. We actually talked about this 2 episodes ago about how AI should be used to make things more efficient and help out in the game development process.
Yeah. Oh,
So this
yeah. Yeah,
kind of
I
alludes
think
into it.
Ubisoft like looked into it.
That's
Um,
right.
I
Yeah,
don't remember if
Ubisoft
anyone
was the
else,
big
but
one.
yeah.
So let's go into it. The first paragraph is a new Blizzard patent has detailed a system to use AI to generate artwork based on specific style by emulating it. Certainly, Blizzard is threading on a controversial field by dealing with generative AI art, and it remains to be seen how the technology described in this new patent will play out if it's used at all. Since programs like Midjourney and ChatGPT exploded in popularity last year, the world can't stop talking about artificial intelligence and generative systems that use machine learning technology. And obviously, this had an impact on game design. Even modders are already using this kind of tech, with examples such as modder who used a chat GPT to create brand new Oblivion quests. Oh yeah, I don't know if we talked about that last week.
I
Did
don't
we?
think so. Sounds pretty crazy.
It was definitely one of the articles that are like I posted in the Discord though.
Yeah.
I found that pretty interesting. So it's obvious that the big companies would not be left behind, and they're already coming up with plans to make use of these new systems. So Blizzard has devised a patent for a new system involving graphic AI generation, which is set to make it easier for developers to create art that will help to flesh out worlds in their games. The text in the patent is very complex, but explaining in a straightforward way, it's a system to teach the machine a specific art style via emulation of images that already exist. First, it uses the initial input to automatically generate a structured image. Then it transfers the models taught to the machine to the image, generating a texture. Finally, they're combined with a moderate amount of detail. This would greatly save time and labor when devising sprawling virtual worlds. And the image for the people that are watching on the screen, it kind of looks fairly straightforward. Like a general image that basically has lines that's probably AI generated, and then it fills in with maybe an actual artist's render of what the texture should be. Could save a lot
Yeah.
of time.
Yeah. I mean, this thing, especially if you're doing something like foliage or like a wall, or like a
Yeah.
floor, like something that's like just needs to be repeated. Essentially, like, um,
Hmm?
yeah, I mean, this could certainly save time to just be like, hey, just generate this texture, and it'll give you something generic, but it'll do the job. I think there's a lot of ancillary design that needs to be done in video games in order to generate worlds. So this can certainly speed up that process a little bit by doing the very monotonous, minute details.
Yeah. It's like the background of what like is in the world itself. Stuff that
Yeah,
people wouldn't really pay attention to. If like you're in the middle of the woods and you need to generate something that's like 50 miles off in the distance, AI generation could do that for you to save you time. But the stuff up close and personal, it's like, yeah, you want an actual artist designing that, make things very unique, very
yeah,
individualistic.
very true,
So,
very true.
mhm. So there are a couple more things where this article continues on, and it says what makes this technology controversial, however, is how systems that operate via machine learning often use other art in their training models. So Blizzard would need to use real life artwork to train its model. At the moment, there's a huge debate on how much of this is actually legal if the material used in the training is copyrighted. So it's not unrealistic to expect more discussions surrounding this technology in the future, as it may diminish jobs and even have legal consequences. Nevertheless, improvements in machine learning are happening quickly, and generating art is just one of the many capabilities of AI. For instance, modders are currently using AI to give Skyrim's NPCs memories. If they can do that without a budget, a company like Blizzard could potentially revamp how NPCs are expected to behave by using similar systems. You hear about the Skyrim's NPC memories? They're
Uh,
giving them background stories basically, and then having the AI generate essentially like Lord of the Rings level background,
that's
and
wild.
then be like, how would memories work with certain types of characters with this certain type of background, and then they're spewing it out. It's
My
mental,
brain's
and
exploding.
it is wild. I do think it's pretty interesting about the whole like you need an artist first to basically use their like that's copyrighted material to create something unique and individualistic so that the AI can basically copy it and then
Yeah,
interpret it and mimic it. And like, it's kind of wild.
it is
That
kind
is
of.
definitely going to be a serious legal battle.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind. I didn't think about that, but yeah, I mean, if you're using like a generic texture, I feel like it probably shouldn't matter. But yeah, if you're
No,
trying to make
not
more
at
nuanced
all.
stuff, it's something I didn't think about. I mean, and if you're using AI to like do all this, I mean, it's like, what if you're using AI to like write dialogue or something like that, it's gotta find what, the material that's already out there, like especially when it's
Right?
learning. So it's like it's gonna use it could use some, copyrighted material. Something to think
Yeah.
about. I mean, look, at the end of the day, at least as it currently stands, AI like is not as creative as a human brain, I think. So there's it's certainly not
I,
at the moment issue, I don't think. I'm talking
eh,
about right now, Mike. All right, I'm not talking about 5 years from now. I'm not talking about 10 years from now because
duh,
that could change. All right.
define right now. Because what the public has access to is outdated technology. And it's been that way for forever, pretty much across the board.
Okay.
Like,
Look, the average consumer there.
okay,
The
yeah, I was
average
like,
consumer.
we're getting into those like nuances of like what the public actually has access to because the government, I mean, they're top tier, man. You're not going to get better AI than that.
Very
It's
true.
just theirs for usually for military purposes,
Yeah.
not for artwork.
Yeah. Look, I mean, look, so the fact that they're using AI to give Skyrim like NPC backstories and memories, I think it's a
Yeah,
really good use for it because like that's like at the point where it's like, okay, we have like the main characters fleshed out, but the amount of man hours it would take to flesh out a story for every single like just rudimentary like basic character, like no one has time for that, no one has money for that. So I think if we
correct.
just make AI do that, that's certainly not a bad idea. I see that's a very like creative thing. I didn't think about that, but that'd be a good use of AI. To flesh out the lore a little bit more of a world that could certainly benefit from it. So, um, yeah, I mean, like because what was the other thing? Yeah, Chat GPT was creating Oblivion quests. Like, I wonder if they're
Yeah.
any good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, certainly it'll learn to
Yeah,
make
that's a
pretty
good
good
question.
quests, but dude, yeah, I mean that's the thing. Look, all I'm saying is, we'll get to it a little bit, but we need an AI to write anything besides a fetch quest. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? And some of these games could really
Yeah.
benefit from less fetch
Bug
quests. You know
testing.
what I mean? And bug
Bug
testing.
testing, I think, would be the main thing, is just, like, play this game for 100 hours. Not even 100 hours. Well, I guess you're limited by the engine of the game, but it's like force an AI to play a game and basically diagnose everything that's wrong with the game, possibly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Run through the entire game code and figure out what's wrong.
Yeah. I mean, you can kind of do that with unit testing, but that's made by humans, so a
Yeah, but
little
yeah.
bit different.
I mean, I just don't know how you can keep releasing games that are broken. You know what I mean? All this advertising
Yeah.
goes into it, and then all of a sudden you're advertising into a game that you think is going to be so successful on launch and be like the crown jewel of your franchise, and then all of a sudden it launches and everybody's making fun of it. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. Anyways,
Yeah. Um.
is that a segue into the next one? Next article?
Look, I say we just get into it, man.
Let's go
Actually,
for
because
it.
I know I have a lot of thoughts about this. I've been like following it closely, so. Oh man. All right, I grabbed this from Forbes. Let that sink in. You know what I'm saying? I grabbed
That's
this
when
from a
it's serious.
non-gaming article. You know what I mean? A non-gaming outlet. You know what I mean? When they're reporting it. Ooh. Obviously, they have a games division. I'm not saying Forbes like is no game presence, but
Oh, they're
Forbes wrote
massive.
about it. You know
They
what I'm
got,
saying? It's Forbes.
yeah.
All right. This is the title of the article. Brutal Redfall reviews are putting more pressure on Xbox to deliver a killer summer showcase. I think there's even more than the summer showcase that they should worry about, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Redfall is off to a brutal start, with many reviewers and players tearing it apart. Poor reception could hardly have come at a worse time for Xbox after a UK regulator blocked Microsoft's Activision Blizzard takeover. It's safe to say it's been a rough week or so for Phil Spencer,
They actually put the R in there this time.
and company. Xbox has to do more to get fans excited about the brand as soon as possible. Even though it has two more tentpole games lined up for the rest of the year in Starfield and Forza Motorsport, it can't wait several more months for those to drop. No more than now, more than ever, Xbox needs to have an excellent showcase, and it's not E3 Summer Showcase next month. There are a bunch of major upcoming Xbox games that we haven't heard about in ages, including Avowed, Fable, Everwild, State of Decay 3, Perfect Dark. The list goes on. We described some of them earlier. There's so much stuff down the pipeline that we just need more info
Yeah.
on. So
They're teasing, I think.
yeah. Of course, we should expect some surprises as well. After the main showcase, there will be a Starfield deep dive, which will give people a clear view of what Bethesda's next game is all about. It's perhaps too much to say the showcase is do or die for Xbox, but it certainly feels like a pivotal moment. Xbox console sales nosedived after the holidays, and Microsoft noted in its Q3 earnings report, which covers January and March, although Xbox content and services revenue rose by 3% for the first 3 months of 2022, Microsoft's gaming revenue overall was down by 4%. It's not great, especially with Sony absolutely killing it with PS5 sales, and Nintendo set to have a blockbuster month thanks to the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom that just got the rug ripped out from under it by leaking it to the public. Am I right?
Yeah.
Didn't talk about that.
Unfortunately.
Unless they're completely confident that their summer showcase is a stone cold banger, Xbox execs may be feeling pretty nervous right now. This is like a little more opiniony, but as for Redfall, what a bummer. I was really looking forward to that one. I was too. Who wrote this article, dude? I was too. Chris Holt. I was too, Chris. You know what I'm saying? I'm really looking forward to it. Chris hopped into Redfall for a bit the previous night. He wrote this article, but he didn't last more than 30 minutes before giving up on it for the time being.
That's crazy.
It took less than 5 minutes for the game to annoy me, he said, as my character described the chaos of what was going on as knucking futs. There you go. It was disappointing to hear such woeful, off-putting writing from the Josh Whedon school of quips right out of the gate. Yeah, I've heard some interesting stuff about the dialogue. Anyways, so this thing. Let's get into it. You know what I'm saying? I've uh I've seen the reviews of Redfall. I watched SkillUp's video. Huge fan. I mentioned him plenty of times here. He's like the one channel I always go to whenever a game drops because he's always open and honest about it. He never tries to sugarcoat anything. And yeah, he just flat out like pretty much said the game is trash and it's just not good. He said the controls very clunky, just don't feel good, especially on controller, which is like you don't get shooting right on controller, and you're arcane. You're not getting you're not getting shooting right on
That's
controller.
crazy, man.
He said he said the overall the story, the narrative is like non-existent. Like there are no like full on like moving cutscenes. Everything is either still images that like kind of go like it almost looks like they're trying to do.
What?
It's kind of like it's almost like the opening like
It's
Sea of Thieves where it's like it just shows like pictures and it's like they just keep moving
yeah.
on.
I was gonna say that it sounds like Sea of Thieves,
Yeah, so
right?
that's
Where they just do like the storytelling, but it's like stills, and they do the panning. It's like
yeah. Yeah. That's what it is, dude. That's how they tell it. There's like audio. There's like logs and stuff. I think there's even audio logs. But it's like the performances are kind of lackluster. It's just like he pretty much said like, look, there's a lot. There's of course bugs in the game, frame issues. Like there's a lot of stuff in that. But the way he essentially said it was like, look, it's like it woefully underdelivers. It's just it's fundamentally just bad, like from just a narrative standpoint. And it's like
oh my
they
god.
he pretty much said like look, even if they patch this, like it's bad to the point where like you can't patch out bad storytelling. You can't like patch this like stuff out. It's kind of
No,
just
you
like
got to redo the game.
like you can fix bugs and everything, but like just at a fundamental standpoint, the foundation just isn't even there. So like even if they were to fix it, it wouldn't be amazing. I don't know. I again haven't played the game. This is just what I'm hearing. I mean, but yeah, I mean, and certainly other outlets are saying the same thing of like, look, this game just like it is a complete letdown from Arcane and Bethesda, and it's not a good look for Xbox in general. Which leads me to my next point. Do you think Xbox is pushing Game Pass so much that they are neglecting their first party studios?
Um,
Oh,
that's hard to say because I don't think they've ever cared about their first party studios. You
dang,
know,
dang.
I think they got lucky a couple of times with the first party studios. I'm looking at Bungie. I'm looking at the Gears of War franchise. I can't remember. Epic Games. Like they just got workaholic franchises that are really good idea and they're small like niche team, and they grinded their faces off and got it right. I mean, Sea of Thieves is probably the other edition that really is like an Xbox exclusive that got it right.
It's rare, dude.
Um, but I mean, yeah, when's Rare gonna mess up? I mean, they have bad games,
Yeah,
but they're not broken games. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's true.
Same thing with Forza, like Take Two,
Yeah,
like Forza's. I don't get me wrong, the last Forza game was rough at launch. They had very serious server issues, but on an individual solo play game, it was fun. It was like a great racing game. Still
yeah,
is. It's now fixed, but dude, that's a good question. It's like Xbox really all they care about is selling Game Pass now,
yeah. That's what it seems like.
and they were hyping the heck out of Redfall. They were
Yeah,
hyping the heck out of Halo Infinite. They're hyping the heck out of Starfield.
dude.
And if Starfield flops, man, I think I'm done with like Xbox IPs day one going out and getting, you know.
Oh man.
I was ready for Redfall. Me and the boys, we just got
Yeah,
finished doing Back for Blood. I'm very excited. It's the next game up. It looks similar to Back for Blood. It looks like 4-player co-op. Let's go, same guys, let's get it. And then you send me the link. I don't even think it was this article. It was the one like 2 days ago. It was like early reviews are in. It's the worst game Xbox has ever made.
it's like,
like, come
oh
on, man.
man. Yeah, I don't know. It's really made me think about like, because a lot of these like first party like Xbox studios, like, yeah, it's I don't know. It's been hard because like, and it makes you think like, yeah, they're pushing Game Pass a lot, but it's like, but it's like an interesting theory of like maybe they just aren't like readily able to support or just like kind of neglecting it, not necessarily meaning to, but it's like that. they have to understand that, when Bethesda publishes like trash like this, like after a studio they just acquired, a publisher they just acquired, it's like
Yeah.
it just reflects very poorly on the brand altogether. It's not just like a Bethesda thing at that point. So
It's hard to say, right? Because Bethesda has had what, 3 misses in a row? Like, really? Like, the Fallout
eh,
series was one of the worst launches, I think, in, like, pretty much AAA history.
yeah, I mean that was 4 years ago
76.
almost, 5 years ago almost.
Yeah.
Like, jeez. Um,
Poor Arcane out here just following in his
yeah,
footsteps.
which is crazy. I mean, look, Deathloop I heard was good. Like
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
like that was
Prey
a
and
recent one.
Dishonored's good.
Yeah,
So it's not like they miss. I don't know, man. Maybe you can make the argument that, like, okay, maybe Microsoft Studios is coming out here saying, like, you have to meet this deadline no matter what, so we can make certain pushes for, like, we have a certain calendar expectation that we need to hit, that kind of thing. So they're forced to push out garbage. But you got, like, you can't afford to push out garbage, I don't think.
I
Like,
I don't think you
you lose
can.
customer trust. I won't go back. Like, I'm never buying a Halo game day one ever again.
No,
Like, I'm done. And I've been playing Halo my entire life, basically.
no,
And when I see more and more stuff like this, it's like I never want to buy a AAA game day one again.
it's true, man. It's
You
true.
know?
I mean, dude, comes I mean, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. That's a game of they
Yeah.
said the story and everything's great. Like it has a very good foundation. It was just
If
rushed
you're on
out and
console.
unbaked. Like
Yeah.
it's like and people have been saying like, like that's like it's still a great game. Like but if you haven't get it yet, just wait
Yeah.
till it's patched and like it'll be good. But yeah, I mean, and it's just and just a side note to it, Star Wars, it's like it was really bad on PC to the point where like people they would have like 40 series cards with like
Oh, like
7800X 3Ds or whatever. It's like you'd have these insane specs, and the game is only utilizing like 30 or 40% of the hardware. And it's just like
yeah,
that's
it's
a
just not
clear it's a
optimized.
clear indication of like there's no optimization done. They just didn't like actually test it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
just quick port and then hope for the best.
yeah, and so now they're gonna have to try and patch it. And but yeah, it's like it looks really bad too because I mean, look, Star Wars like the first game did so well, and I'm at least grateful that there's like a solid story there, and there's going to be a solid game in a few months, kind of
Yeah.
thing. But it's like just delay it to the end of the summer, dude. Give us a July banger. You know what I'm saying?
Please, dude.
Like just give us a July banger at that point. But
You know something to even like piggyback on is I told you at the beginning of the episode that I was playing Cyberpunk 2077. I know you played it through all the bugs and you're really upset. I'm experiencing bugs now.
yeah, oh yeah,
Not like
yeah.
not game breaking bugs, but bugs in a way that like what's it called? Um
Version breaking.
what no, non-vert no, well kinda. When the characters miss up dialogue bugs, that's the word I was looking
Oh,
for,
yeah.
dialogue. And if you answer questions too quickly or you go through the scene too quickly, like, 'cause it's supposed to be one of those it's not an interactive scene, but it's like it's storytelling within an action sequence where you can actually play through and you have the background dialogue of, like, Johnny Silverhand in Cyberpunk talking to you.
Yeah.
But if you do sequences too quickly, his dialogue is, like, triple layered, so he's just
Oh my
talking
god.
and then he starts over talking somebody else in an actual cutscene.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened to me, like, the last time I played, and I was like, "Oh, okay, so I need to take my time with this game sometimes because they
Yeah.
didn't plan for that." Uh,
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I've just seen thumbnails of people saying, "Oh, I'm back on Cyberpunk in 2023," and then it's like one of the companions or something in the hood of the car driving the car. It's like it's like they're
yeah.
not like it's yeah. There's still bugs with that game. Um,
Yeah, it's better though,
yeah,
but
yeah. I
again,
mean, I would hope, you know. Um,
quit
but
quit launching broken games.
that was also a game that's supposed to have DLC in 2021. What year is it, Mike?
Yeah.
2023. That's what year it is.
2023 is what my PC tells me, but
It's like,
who
jeez.
knows?
Yeah, so is what it is. I'm glad we're getting DLC. I hope it still is this year. That's like my big hope. But I mean, at the same time, I'm not gonna be. Look, if you delay it, I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather you look, especially with Cyberpunk. Like, if they release a broken DLC for a broken game that was at launch, I'm gonna say it. Like, it's really not gonna be good. Oh man,
No,
that's like something they
it shouldn't
have
be.
to get right, you know? Um, yeah, I mean, but two, you know, Bethesda they have a shot with Starfield, all right? They do. And they if they mess up Starfield, Mike, oh, Bethesda's about to get the rain of 1,000 suns just all over their company, and it's just, oh man. People are still going to buy Bethesda games
Yeah.
because it's Bethesda, right? Like even if you release the worst AAA game of our generation, like people are still going to be like, ah, it's Bethesda. They make good RPG. Like they're still gonna buy. You can't get canceled, Mike. We've been over this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you can't. The only way you get canceled is if you go to jail. That's the only way.
And you can't arrest everyone in a developer. So
Yeah, I'm thinking about it right now. It's just like when it comes to AAA studios releasing broken games knowingly, like when it's so broken that you can't play it, that's like negligence,
yeah, it
basically.
is, man. It
Could
should be
basically be
illegal.
considered theft. Yeah, it's probably illegal in a lot of European countries, man. That's why they have the consumer what's it called? Like Consumer Protections Act.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, man, like if if Bethesda the problem is, here's my prediction. If Starfield is so broken that it's unplayable, it's not gonna be just people mad at Bethesda or mad at Xbox. It's gonna be bottled up frustration from the entire gaming sphere of everybody that's been having to deal over the last 10 years of games
Yep,
coming out that have just been broken, man. Like
yeah.
day one, not working, charging $70 a game. You're gonna just get like a full on revolt from the gaming populace. And last thing you need is a bunch of angry, pissed off nerds. They're gonna
Dude.
be blowing up your reviews, dossing you. It's gonna be crazy, man.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was gonna say the exact same thing. I feel like if Starfield, like this is especially like Bethesda, but like I feel like Starfield, like if this game launches very poorly, it's like it's gonna keep on adding to the narrative of like, dude, when are people gonna start getting it right? Because it seems like it's been a decade long fiasco of just like broken games. And you
Uh,
know,
I
we've had a couple good releases in that. I'm not saying it's all bad. I'm just saying like it's you can't deny the amount of like broken releases that have happened out of the good
yeah.
ones. We get more broken than good. You just can't deny that. So
In terms of AAA,
yeah, in terms
in
of
terms
triple,
of AAA,
yeah, we'll say
there's
yeah,
a lot of fire coming out of the indie market.
double A. I don't know how many double A games out there, but I'm sure they're living it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't know. I think things are only going to change when people stop pre-ordering games. Everything's digitally now. You should not be pre-ordering games unless it's Nintendo because they're the only ones that are worthwhile to collect. All the
Yeah,
other ones you basically have to download to a hard drive and there's only access online. So
yeah,
why are you pre-ordering to begin with? The second one is like these reviewers, the people that we're supposed to be trusting to play the game and give an honest, fair review, need to be honest and fair, man. Like I'm seeing some reviews from way back when where the reviewer's just like, oh yeah, I put in like an hour. It's a great game. It's like, dude, what are you talking about? You didn't play the game? An hour? An
hour,
hour of
dude,
a triple A, an hour, dude. Like,
an
no, I
hour,
want somebody that spends all night. If you're gonna write the article in one day when you get the release, play it all night, all day, like 20 hours straight. Do your
just go
job,
hard,
man.
dude, just go
Yeah,
hard.
like you can't just write a review in an hour and be like, or after an hour of gameplay and just say it's good, because people base their purchases off of that. And the second one is stop buying the games, man. Stop buying the broken games, and they'll
Saying,
stop
dude,
making broken games.
saying. It's just it's how it needs to happen. It's just I feel like it's never going to happen. There's still going to be a heavy market. We're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, not saying Dead Island 2 is a bad game, but Dead Island 2 did reach gold before the game even launched. You know what I'm saying? Like it just proves that, there's still games that get these insane pre-order numbers, and it's like it's still very
I
much
mean,
alive.
yeah.
So,
People are gonna do what they want to do with their money. It's just it doesn't make sense to me.
look,
That's all.
as your video game
It's their
news
right.
pundits, we're gonna say stop pre-ordering unless you see
Seriously.
fire reviews from not just news outlets but YouTubers and secondhand media. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, straight up, the only thing I'm ever gonna pre-order is Nintendo stuff. Like, I
Yeah,
really wanted. I almost considered If I didn't have to go buy contact lenses and glasses today, I was seriously considering buying the Nintendo Switch, Tears of the Kingdom.
It
By the way,
looks
I just learned
beautiful.
Tears of the Kingdom is, like, not a remake, but they already had a past Tears of the Kingdom in 1986. Did you know that?
I did not know that. No.
Yeah. I was researching the games, trying to figure out what the releases are for this month, and I went, like, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. It was, like, 1986 game, and I'm like, "What?
What?
What?" So,
Dude, yeah, it's
yeah,
funny. That Tears of the Kingdom Switch though, that fire white with
it
the
looks
gold trim. Oh my god, so good, dude.
dude, the Switch controller
And yeah,
too.
they're like
Switch
green with gold.
controllers are
Oh,
trash, but well,
oh
actually,
my god.
they're pretty good. Actually,
No,
I should be fair.
good cons.
Switch controllers are pretty good.
I would see. I don't know. I would see that was actually an investment I was thinking about making is getting those like actually comfortable Joy Cons where it's like full grip.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause I feel like you
do
need
it.
that if you're actually like walking
Do it.
around playing it.
Dude, I get like really, really bad like hand cramps when I get
Yeah.
them. It's so weird. I've been playing games my entire life, and all the controllers and all my friends that have like controllers, they complain about their hands cramp on like an Xbox, PlayStation controller for like long periods of time. I never had that, but give me a Joy-Con, and I'm like, I turn into a claw,
I got
like
carpal tunnel. Ah.
a crab with carpal tunnel. Man, it hurts so bad. But
I'm
all the other
tingling.
controllers are great.
Yeah.
I've used the like the morphed versions, the like the bigger hands, like nice grip ones that you're
Yeah.
describing.
Yeah.
They're really good. They're definitely worth the money. They're pretty cheap actually, and you can get the attachments where it's just the mold of it.
Yeah.
You can have the Joy Cons and just put
That's
the
true.
mold
Yeah,
on.
and it puts that comfort. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a cheap
that might be
option,
the real play, to be
dude.
honest.
Honestly, bro. Yeah, I saw like some GameCube controller Joy Cons. That was pretty sick. Cause like they
Oh yeah,
actually took like GameCube like
yeah,
handles and put out like that's
yeah,
sick. What do you
yeah.
mean?
You could get a dongle now to use your GameCube controllers. GameCube controllers are like pretty OP. I think they're really
Um,
good.
dude, they're really good, man. Not gonna lie.
It's so funny. It's like Nintendo's made one of the like the best controllers ever made, but also the worst controller ever made. Like the N64 controller is the worst controller ever made.
Just,
I
just
mean, dude, it's hard to say actually now that I think about it. I think the Duke controller by Xbox might be the worst one ever made.
oh man, it's pretty
It
big,
might be.
pretty massive.
It's it's so like
You know,
yeah, it's just
you
kind of
just you
bad.
automatically alienate 80% of your market with these small handers out there. You know what I'm saying? It's rough.
Easily.
And then you made the micro Duke or
Easily.
like the smaller Duke, and it's like, okay, this is manageable. But like, dude, that original one,
Yeah.
jeez.
That original one was ridiculous. People love it though. They
Yeah,
absolutely love it. So it's like a cult following almost. And then yeah, but the GameCube controllers, it's pretty good.
yeah,
Pretty good.
it's pretty comfortable, dude. I use a oh, check out, I got I use one of these because I lost my other one.
Oh yeah,
Bro,
that's a Switch wireless,
dude,
right?
Switch Pro controller, dude. This thing,
Yeah.
it
Mine are
feels
all wired, dude. I gotta get a wireless.
it feels so nice in the hand. And I was like just gaming with it. I was like, I would never have any like issues using this. It just
So
feels so
nice.
it fits in my palms just so well. It's like perfect for my hand size.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think I have one. No, I don't have one in my drawer of controllers. No, they're all in the other room. I pretty much like every controller ever made.
Yeah.
I feel like since the Xbox came out.
Yeah, I got
Hmm.
some GameCube controllers are pretty nice. Yeah. I even have the I have a 360 controller too, which dude, the original 360 controller felt really nice too. I was like using it the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man.
Mine's right there buried. I even have it all custom and stuff.
I'm saying
So
like
like
I was
every time I
mm,
shoot or like throw a grenade or there's vibration of any sort, it lights up. I like did put a
it's
bunch
pretty
of
sick.
LEDs in there myself, wired it up myself. It's pretty nice.
Pretty nice, yeah. Dude, yeah, it's comfortable controllers. Kind of straying
Mhm.
away. There's like the Xbox One controller, it's all right. Or like the Elite, it's okay. Oh, God, there's just something about like this slightly smaller controllers that are just formed a little differently. Just hit, man. I don't know.
They're just clean. They're just clean. So
Shit.
I know we just got done talking about games. We just got done talking about Redfall. The last thing we have to talk about are the new games that release in the month of May. Have you seen all of them yet, Kyle?
I've not
There's a lot
seen
of
all
them.
these games.
There's a lot of them except for hold on, let me double check. I remember there being virtually nothing for Nintendo because that's pretty on brand with Nintendo. They're like, "You want a new game? You know which one you're buying. You know which one." So, I
What
got a
about?
decent little list here, and I'm just gonna go top to bottom based on release date for it. Give a little bit of background, what type of genre it is, and the platform it launches on. So, starting off with May 2nd, there's two games that came out. It was Redfall and Age of Wonders. They are both on PC. They're both on the Xbox Series X and S, and Age of Wonders is actually on PS5. So, Redfall, we talked about literally the last article. First person shooter, open world adventure game. Reminds me of Back 4 Blood, except with vampires. Total fueled bug mess, but bug fueled mess. So, probably wait until that's fixed. Then you got it. Yeah. Age of Wonders 4, which is a strategy video game. I don't really, to be honest, I don't know too much about Age of Wonders. I just heard
Yeah, I've
there's a
heard of
bunch
Age
of
of
hype
Wonders.
around it.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
heard of it. I'm right there with you though. I don't know too much about it.
yeah. So, following up, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, most anticipated game in the last 2 years. Obviously, that one's going to be on the Nintendo Switch. Action adventure, continuing the story of Link. I don't think you really need to know anything more than that. It's just the same old, you know?
It's already out there, but just wait to release.
Bigger.
That's all I'm gonna say. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
Don't
Yeah.
be that
Don't
guy, dude.
get the collector's edition. It'll be worth money in the future. So, it might be the last Zelda game on the Nintendo Switch. They could have a new Switch coming out.
Yeah,
Who
at
knows?
this point, yeah, I'm waiting for that next console. So
Mhm.
interested.
So, we got Amnesia, The Bunker, May 16th. That is on PC, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. It's an indie game. It's adventure action, survival horror game. It's basically like an add on to the Amnesia franchise. And you're familiar with Amnesia, right?
Oh yeah,
Thriller
that
horror
you
game.
know, yeah. I mean, I saw that video. You sent me that video of like the top 10 games of the month. And they actually mentioned I completely forgot, but that's the game that they talked about in 2021, but then got plagued with delays, and so here we are. It's
Yeah,
finally out.
exactly. Yep, finally coming out May 16th. And a couple of days after that is another horror game, The Outlast Trials. Survival horror, action, indie, venture, early access, PC, May 18th. Not much to really say. Outlast has kind of been out for a while. It's been super popular with YouTubers. And yeah, we got a couple other ones that I'm not personally too familiar with. I know there's After Us and May 23rd. Actually, all three of these games come out on May 23rd. You got After Us, which is on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. Then you got Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun, which is basically like a boomer shooter, is what they call it, old school like Doom style game. That's on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch, which is pretty cool. Then you have Miasma Chronicles. That's a role playing game. It's on PC, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. And yeah, role playing game, action, adventure, strategy game, May 23rd. So all three of those After Us, Warhammer, and Miasma. Miasma? It
Yeah,
got to be, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
Miasma
fine.
Chronicles, May 23rd. One of them that I was really surprised about that I didn't hear of, because I'm big into Lord of the Rings. May 25th, The Lord of the Rings Gollum. It's an action adventure game from the perspective of Gollum from The Lord of the Rings. Basically, when he gets the ring to, I guess, the Fellowship of the Ring when you first see him.
Yeah.
It's in yeah, it's gonna be on all platforms. PS4, PS5, PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and later this year it'll eventually come to the Switch. So, did you
It's
even hear
crazy.
about that?
Yeah, until you sent me that, no, I didn't. And maybe I heard of it because we covered that story. There's a lot of Lord of the Rings games in the making, whatever,
Yeah,
and this was one of them. But yeah, I mean, I was like,
I
this actually,
forgot completely.
yeah, I was like, this actually doesn't look that bad. Like, I was watching like the
Yeah.
trailer, so yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I just don't really care about Gollum, although he has like a really intense lore, and it's
Yeah,
like he's a very important character in the story.
right.
He's the one that ultimately, I mean, spoilers if you never read a 60-year-old book
Bro, I
or
didn't read it, Mike. All right, go ahead.
yeah, you took your headphones off, really?
Oh, dude.
Gollum dies with the ring, basically.
Oh
The One
my
Ring.
god.
Yeah.
All right,
So
guys, this
it's
is my last
important.
show. I'll see y'all in the next
Yep.
one.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, and then the last one, last but not least, May 30th, the last day in the month, right? There's no 31 days in May, right?
May
No, there is
31st?
31 days.
Yeah,
Dang it, I
it's like the
forgot.
knuckle. You know the knuckle months?
I
And
never learned that in school.
like January, February, March, April, May. Everyone that lands on a knuckle is 31st month.
Yeah, I never learned that ever. Sorry, I'm that guy.
Come on,
Never
Mike,
learned
dude.
it.
It's
They
maybe
never
it's a
taught it in
Zoomer
my
thing.
school.
Maybe it's a Zoomer thing. I won't blame
I
you.
went to a weird school, man. They like it was northeastern Pennsylvania. They never taught us that, but I also learned "O Canada," the national anthem for Canada, along with the national anthem for the United States. Okay,
I look. You thought you were about to say, "Oh, I learned arson," or like something crazy.
arson, dude.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah, northeastern Pennsylvania. We learned how to hunt deer in NASCAR. Oh, jeez. I hope there's somebody from Pennsylvania that's laughing right now at me. Um, anyways, last game, May 30th, System Shock. That's an action adventure game. I personally don't know much about it, although I've been seeing a bunch of hype. People looking forward to it. It's on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. And that's pretty much all I've got for us in terms of new games. There's several more coming out, but I feel like that might be the best one to go with. Oh yeah, I should actually mention that System Shock is a first-person game from the '90s, so they're bringing it back. Kind of interesting.
See.
It's a remake.
Um,
Yeah, and it looks like a first-person shooter. It looks cool. So
nice. I have a little extra piece of bonus news. I ain't gonna present anything, but I
okay,
did see rumors. This is rumors. This is why it's bonus news. Why we didn't include it. But I heard. I've been hearing that. Yeah, we even talked about this before. But PlayStation is, of course, working on a PS5 Pro.
yes, they are.
And the PS, and it's pretty much like confirmed. Like, oh, they are working on it now. Apparently, there is a chance they could cancel it, so it's like it may not be definite, but they are working on that. And if they do move forward with it, they are going to do dev kits actually pretty soon for AAA studios. They're going to send out dev kits.
Like.
And then, obviously other studios would get it. But it's crazy news to think there's dev kits. There's also a rumor, too, that PlayStation is working on a different variation to the regular PS5. I heard a rumor that they were trying to do one with a removable disk drive, which is very confusing to me because, like, why would you ever do that? Like, there's no, what are you going to do with a disk drive? Like, especially a PlayStation, like, is it a generic disk drive that I could use on other stuff? I just seems kind of pointless. Or does it not come with it and then you can buy it later as an add-on? Like, I don't know. Seems kind of weird. Which is like, I'm like, this is a rumor. I don't know if there's going to be any validity to that, but it would seem very odd for PlayStation to just be like, you can remove the disk drive.
Sounds like a troll. Hey man, maybe they're going modular now. They're like, we'll remove the disk drive and you can hook it up to your TV now. Just it only works with Sony TVs. And then we're getting one more step to my dream, dude. Where we can have PlayStation in Sony TVs, please.
We made modular thumbsticks on our Pro controller, which $200 is done very well. But yeah, so it's I don't know. Maybe this is the modular era. I mean, look. I think it would only make sense if it didn't come with the disk drive, and then that was like an option down the line. You could buy that separately. That's the only thing that would make sense to me, to have a removable disk drive, or have the ability to not have one. Yeah, it's very odd.
I guess so.
I don't know.
So weird.
Hear these rumors. Weird. It's kind of cool though. PS5 Pro. Yeah, I'm at the point now where I'm like, I may just hold out and see what the PS5 Pro is like, and then if I want a PlayStation, I'll just get that. But I think it's like, it would probably be like holiday 2024 until we see that. So yeah.
You know what's a fun fact? Do you know what the first modular console was?
The Ouya.
I think it might. Ouya?
No, the Ouya. Remember?
Oh yeah.
I don't think it was modular. I don't think it was
modular.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but yeah, I don't think it was modular. Yeah, that little tiny little like.
No, it's. I'll tell you, it's the N64. N64
really? Okay.
might be even the only one. If you think about it, you can actually pull off the power pack in the back.
Yeah.
Like, it disconnects normally.
Right.
And then the power cord, whatever, all that kind of stuff. Well, yeah, that was the power cord. And then the other one was different types of cables that would attach to different types of segments for your TV. But the big one is you could upgrade the RAM.
Yeah. The expansion pack.
We got Donkey Kong, pack, the expansion.
Yeah.
Yep. And then all the different controllers, you could like stick in it, like a vibration and like expansion storage.
The rumble packs.
Dude, Pokemon Stadium, dude. Like Nintendo is. Man. on a different
Dude.
planet when it comes to innovation, I think.
It's so funny because I've been like obviously looking up all these retro consoles. I've been learning all the history and all that. And
Oh yeah.
it's like I'll see something like like a TikTok or something on the N64, and I'm like, wait, so like you're telling me you had the ability to upgrade the RAM, you had the
Yeah.
Rumble Pack, you had like I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure they had the camera. I know the Game Boy had the camera. It was like a little like
Uh,
you could stick it on as
well,
like a little tiny little
dude,
camera.
the Game Boy was insane when it came to modulation.
Yeah.
All the different attachments you could put on that thing. I should send you a video of all the attachments that you could possibly plug in. This guy like plugs in every single attachment in existence, and his like GameCube goes from like, or his Game Boy goes from like this like a pocket to
Yeah.
like a giant like screen. It's so crazy.
So
Um,
funny. Dude, the GameCube too, just want to talk about that. They had the Game
yeah,
Boy like cartridge. You could just slap that thing on like a giant like
I
reader.
I have mine on a stand for it, and I have a separate stand for like extra speakers that you could get too.
Yeah, like yeah, there's like
It's
a speeder.
madness.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's wild. I mean, we talk about the Wavebird. It's like the first major wireless controller for the GameCube that had it had a
Yeah.
dongle, but it's like it's wireless over like
It's still
RF or whatever
wireless.
it was. I mean, it
Yeah.
worked pretty well. I mean, yeah, but it's like the fact that like you could back in the day they didn't have Rumble with the controller, so you bought the Rumble pack if you wanted Rumble, and it's like
Exactly.
yeah. I mean, it's just like there's like a little cartridge. It's so weird. Like, and I never noticed it until they mentioned it, but like on the back there's a giant socket that you can just like stick this
Yeah.
stuff to on the controller and like make it do certain stuff.
Dude, next time you come over, I'll show you all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I literally have it underneath my TV in the living room right now.
Yeah, I'd love to
It's
check it out. It's awesome.
wildness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy, man. Just learning the history of all the consoles. I mean, you go back to the NES. The NES accessories were wild. You remember do you know the U Force for the NES? It was
Yeah,
a
I do.
giant like it would look like a laptop almost, and you'd set it in front of your thing, but it allowed you to control with the air. It was like it was kind of ahead of its time. I feel like it was like kind of wild.
It
But
didn't
like
work that well though, from
yeah,
my memory.
I mean, yeah, from what I heard, it wasn't like the best, but it's still like it was kind of crazy. Like, but when it worked, it was still like interesting, especially like for an accessory that was in the 80s. It's like dang. But yeah, they have they also had like the scope or whatever, the headset with a giant scope, and then you can like it had a mic so you could scream into it to shoot guns in games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty
I
funny.
think Nintendo, I don't remember if it was Nintendo or not. It could have been Atari, but there was actually a glove you could put on too.
The Power Glove. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was Nintendo. NES.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. So the
Oh
NES.
my
Dude, that thing is, and
gosh.
dude, each game had like a code. It had like a thick keypad on it, so you have to enter a code for the game to use it, like the different controls for the game. It'd like tell it what to do
Okay.
and stuff. Kind of wild.
All right, so Nintendo's the GOAT, basically. There's
Anyways,
nothing else to really say.
this is just preparation for one of these days we're gonna get a video game history episode for all of you guys to listen to, so you can all get caught up on what gaming used to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then people that already know can just enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Like
get a
reminisce
little,
with us.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, dude, it's wild, man. The amount of accessories back in the day, seeing what failed, what didn't, just learning it, and like just going through like Nintendo's life cycle, and like they had all these consoles that did so well, and then they got to the Wii U, and it was a commercial failure pretty much, and like it only sold
Yeah.
like 11 million units or something like that, which is like even crazy today.
Well, that's
Yeah.
because they made the Wii so good
Yeah, the Wii
that
was
there's
really
like
good.
no real reason to go to a Wii U.
Well, see, I mean, come on, it's undeniable. The Wii U like gamepad or whatever, it was literally the rough draft of the Switch. So like that was
It
what
was,
became the
yeah.
Switch, right? So it's like you kind of got to
Yeah.
cut it some slack because I'm pretty sure Nintendo was just like play testing what a Switch could be like. So
That's facts.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude.
Well-
I'm not gonna, don't want to hold them. Sorry, guys. We're
Yeah,
way over.
let's not hold the people. We're definitely way over, and puck drop I think is happening right now for the
Oh, yeah.
games.
Got a
Let's go check it
dipski,
out.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we gotta go. Like it was good having you guys, but I mean, like we gotta go. We'll maybe see you next week. It's like you already like go to what's the thing that people say? They're just like you ain't gotta go home. You gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
That's basically where we're at. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. We had a couple of bangers for you. We actually had some updated games too for the month. Hopefully Redfall turns it around. Hopefully the reviews aren't as bad and Nintendo actually pops off again with Tears of the Kingdom. Love to see it. Kyle, do you have anything for him? I think we're good, right?
We're good, dude. I've said all I need
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah, check out the socials. We appreciate you guys listening. We noticed numbers banging, popping off recently. Absolutely appreciate you listening. new people, old people. Thanks for tuning in. We got Discord if you want to reach out to us. We got Twitter if you want to reach out to us. And if you're only watching us on Spotify, go to YouTube as well and then show some love there. So, yeah, that's all I got for them. Let's let the people go. This has been episode 17 of the M2 podcast. I'm your host, Michael Lancy, my co-host, Kyle Heath. And go Canes. We'll see you later.
Bye, guys.
See ya.